What's up, guys? How are you? How was your day? How was, what is today? Saturday? How was your Saturday? How was your Saturday? I don't know what day it is. I don't know what day it is. It's alright. It's okay. It's alright. Uh, I hope you guys have had a good Saturday. My hair a little crazy. I've been cleaning all day. I've been doing all the things, and, well, I say cleaning all day. It's been one of those days where I have just forced myself to keep going. Of course, my energy has been through the roof too. It's so weird. How does your energy be through the roof and you can't sit down, but at the same time your head is splitting down the middle and your ears are ringing? So, like, explain. Someone explain. The human body is stupid. Stupid. It's stupid. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, let's do some astrology. I have some stuff to catch up on. I'm going to start with the reads from the 5th. So tonight I will probably get through the 5th and the 6th, hopefully. That is 25 reads. We'll see. I may not get through all of them. Tonight and tomorrow I will be finishing up the list from 5th, 6th, and then tonight's list, the 7th. So just so you guys know. If you miss yours, no worries. It will be on YouTube for you to watch at any time. And I am going to try to go kind of fast a little bit this evening so I can get through everybody's. I know that I like to talk. I know that I like to talk. So, yeah. So, yeah. If y'all were waiting on the 2026 reports, I finally got all those done. I sat here last night, got all of them finished, and sent out to you. In fact, you got 2 new reports. I formatted them differently, and these are massive reports. So just so you guys know, if you did not get a 2026 report and you want to order a timeline report, you can. I will be doing those starting next week. So if you want to get one of these reports, the smallest one that I have ran so far is like 32 pages, 30 or 32 pages. The biggest one is 52. I was floored. This gives you a play-by-play of your whole entire year. And yes, I can run it from today's date till next year at this time. So yeah, if you guys would like to get one of those, then you can grab one of those. They're already up on my link tree. If you got a 2026 report and it's sent to you, I sent it from my email because Wix is not allowing us to send them. And now they are. I don't know. Like, it makes my head hurt. The technology be technologying. But if you can't open it, please let us know, and we'll see if we can send it in a different format, because it's just being stupid. So yeah, but those all got sent out. If you can't find it in your email, please look at your spam and your junk folder, because for some reason when I'm sending emails, whether it's from the site or my damn email, if it has an attachment, it's going into most people's junk folder. So please make sure that you look in your junk folder and your spam folder first, and then we'll get it to you. So yeah. Yes! So if you can't open yours, if you have a problem with it, please shoot a message to the website. We'll get it to you in a different format, because I 100% will forget. I 100% will forget. But in the meantime, let's get this show on the road. Yeah. It's so weird. My head's hurt like a motherfucker today, but yet I'm in a great mood and have been stupid all day. The vocal stems have been stimming. I'm just letting you know, like, it's been so bad. It's been so bad. I've been driving myself nuts. And I know that some of you guys that are on TikTok all the time are going to know exactly what this is. I was talking to Sass earlier, and multiple times came out of my face. The voice is like, I don't give a goddamn. I've been saying that so much today. I can't stop. Like, I need help. I need help. That, and if you guys know this one, then we're definitely friends. I don't give a fuck about them ducks. I say that all the time. You're welcome. You're welcome for that. You're welcome for that. If y'all know what that is, I'm trying to remember. Is it Vice Principals? Is that the show? I fucking love that show. It's stupid and funny and hilarious. If y'all have never seen it, it is fucked all the way up too. So if y'all have never seen it, that should be on your watch list. If you like comedies, and if you don't, then I don't know why you're watching me, because that's my life. But yeah, it's yeah. don't give a fuck about them ducks. I don't know. It's fucking funny. So those, just so you guys know, the stuff be stuffing today. So you've been warned. You've been warned. You've been warned. All right. This says that I ended with Tiffany D. Did I get yours? Let's see here. Why do you have to have such a cool name, Tiffany? Why have to have such a cool name? Just saying. Just saying. And why is this being what it is? It's just being a bitch. Okay. All right. It's not what I wanted either. Yeah, I want you to go away because that's not what I wanted either. What in the hell? I don't want to adjust it, but I guess that's what I'm gonna have to do. And now I'm getting irritated. Nope, there we go. That's what I want. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I'm glad y'all think it's funny because sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not. I drive myself up the damn wall on a constant basis. On a constant basis. So yeah, on a constant basis. And then I'm curious too. Some of y'all that are some of y'all that are riding the ADHD wave like I am. Do y'all ever drive yourself nuts with shit? Because yeah. Since you said it's AM, we're just gonna do that. All right, let's look at you here. What's up, Mike? Yeah, my brain's not ever quiet. It is not ever quiet. And your Amazon man. Yeah, not ever quiet. Not ever quiet. Yep. All right. So let's look at Tiffany D here. A Pisces. Now, since you only knew that you were born in the morning, I put it 8 a.m. Now, here's the thing: if you find out what time the exact time you were born, please let me know, because some of this can change. In fact, this is only for an 8 a.m. point, okay? So if you do find out, let me know. It won't change your sun sign, obviously. It very well could change your moon, and it probably will change your rising, depending on how far away from 8. This, so you guys know, let me explain this real quick, because it's a question I get a lot. Usually when I don't know somebody's birth time specifically, I usually run an event chart, and I ran a natal chart, and I'm sorry, it's kind of the same thing, but an event chart is for that moment in time, or a natal chart is for that specific time you were born. Not a crazy amount of difference. Different to me, probably not so much different to y'all. But if you don't know what time you were born, anyone can still pull a chart. So I just ask on there that you put AM or PM. And usually if you put AM, I'm going to put like 8 o'clock in the morning. If you put PM, I'm going to put like 6 or 7. Unless you say early afternoon, late afternoon, then I'll adjust accordingly. And then if you find on your birth certificate that you have your birth time, let me know and I can update this. I'm not going to go back and redo all the readings, but I'm just saying. So, for example, let's say that Tiffany finds out that she was actually born at 6:50 in the morning and not 8. It may not change a lot. Her rising over here in Leo that's a pretty good amount. So it may not change that. And if not, it won't change anything with her chart. However, if she was born at 1 a.m., that is going to change this, right? But either way, we can do it. We can do it. I am okay, Mike. We'll just say that. I am in the best mood. My energy is through the roof, but my head is splitting. So I don't understand. Your husband only knows early afternoon, so should you use like 1 p.m.? Yeah, that's what I would say. If he says early afternoon, then that's probably 1 or 2 o'clock. Usually like right after lunchtime, you know. So yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Yeah. All right. So let's look at the Tiffany here. Hecate in the 12th house. Hades in the 2nd house. Pegasus in the 4th house. Kali in the 7th in retrograde. Okay, so we're going to look at this placement first. By the way, that's really pretty. That's a lot of triangles. I like it. Also, this clicked in my head, but see how the triangle is upside down in the middle? The big red one is upside down in the middle. If y'all don't use the abracadabra triangle, you should. And don't just use the one that goes up. Use the one that goes down. Use both of them. Very powerful. Just saying. All right. So, Neptune placement. We're going to start there. Barely in Sagittarius. Just barely in Sagittarius. So, that is a mythic, prophetic vision. In your 9th house, which is the cosmic mystic. So you have a lot of very intense dreams. I would bet that, well, what this tells me is that you not only have a lot of clairvoyancy in there, but you also have clairaudience in there. Because that cosmic mystic thing, and then the cosmic mystic house right there, and then also having your Neptune in that mythic, prophetic, Sagittarius placement, that's a lot. I would bet that throughout your life you've had different clairs that have popped up, and I would really bet that the clairalience, which is hearing something, makes you feel crazy as fuck a lot. I find it interesting that it is tied in down here to your Hades, and I'm going to go there next. So Hades is your shadow self, right? So this is how you look at your own shadow and how you look at shadow work and so on. So that being in Gemini is interesting because that is mapping through language and symbols, and it's also a very dualistic aspect. But in the 2nd house, that is your shadow work tied to your self-worth and then your own survival. So what that tells me, because those are they separating or applying? Hang on. Oh, wait. They're separating. So what that tells me is you are so hard on yourself, shadow work wise, with self-worth. It is a constant struggle for you. So that is something you will be dealing with, forever. It's something that you'll have to overcome, if that makes sense. But having your shadow work constantly tied to your self-worth means that you're constantly second guessing everything. So that also tells me that you have a lot of imposter syndrome, and being a Pisces, that is amplified with you. The moon being, yeah, it's amplified hardcore. It's amplified hardcore, especially with this Leo aspect. So you go back and forth from being really, really in your feels, especially about spiritual aspects of I'm not good enough, why should I be doing this, who am I, to oh my god, I know the shit. Like, you go back and forth. There's no real in the middle. All right, so where was your Kali? I want to talk about that one next, because this one is your personal power, your Kundalini force, your how you approach everything, right? I find it interesting that it's tied in with your ascendant, and it is separating. So you have a problem. That Aries ascendant is an amazing amount of energy. It's amazing, like, let's go type energy. But the fact that your Kundalini is separating from it, and it's in retrograde, means that sometimes it's really hard for you to tap into that. Like, a lot of times it's really hard for you to tap into that. Libra-based energy in the Kundalini is really balanced. It's stabilizing. Yours is in retrograde, okay? So you have a problem, and coupled with that Aries aspect, you go back and forth, like, in a crazy way, from being completely energized and over the top to I have no energy. And then the fact that that's in the 7th house, that is mirroring other people. This one isn't as much as, wait, let me back up. This one isn't as backwards as some of the others, because you do tend to mirror other people's energy, especially the people that you're around all the time. So not just people at home, not just people like family, best friends, but people at work, people, you know, at school or with you, around your kids, or anybody that you're around all the time. You mirror their energy. So this is why a lot of people will dislike being around you, because you kind of, I mean, it's kind of like this with them. So when they come at you with shitty energy, you get shitty right back, especially with that Leo moon. And notice that this is tied with that Leo moon. So when your energy, you know, hits theirs and they're being shitty, it's instant shitty shit, right? Your Hecate, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Hecate. This is in Pisces. This is blurring the gates. This is also in the 12th house, which is thinning the veil. So you are a master at being able to cross the veil. You are also what I would call, not quite a gatekeeper, but because everybody's going to go, oh, that's a gatekeeper. No. Door holder. There we go. You're a door, and I don't want it to sound derogatory because it's not. You're a doorman. You're a door person. So you stand at the threshold and you are able to thin the veil so other people can get through. For that reason right there, put up your protections, because that means people are going to seek you out as a tether. Be people that can travel real easily are not going to really need you, but people that can't travel very easy are going to need you, because you naturally can thin the veil. You can open the gates. You can, wherever you are, the veil gets thin. So anybody that has mediumship abilities, they're going to be amplified around you. Anybody that has ancestor work abilities, that's going to be amplified around you. Like, you're an amplification beacon for people with those gifts and abilities. The problem comes when people get addicted to that. And being a Pisces, you're automatically you're squishy. And so being squishy, you will take more shit than you need to. So when I said get your protections out, I absolutely meant it. Because you're going to have people that get addicted to your energy, that they want to just be around you, be next to you. They don't ever want to leave, because when they're next to you, you amplify other aspects of them. And now we're going to talk about this one right here. This is your Pegasus placement. This one is interesting, being in your 4th house in Cancer, and the fact that it's tied into your sun sign. So Cancer is a tethered, very emotional travel. And I think that's funny because interesting, because it's tied into your Pisces placement, your sun sign in Pisces. And the fact that we just talked about you having that Hecate placement where it thins the veil for all of that. I'm just saying. So you are also one of those people that you're going to have to be very, very careful whenever, and with this, it's also tied in right here. I'm going to sneeze in a minute. With your energy, and with that being in retrograde, that means that you have a problem keeping your energy balanced. So when you have a problem keeping your energy balanced, it also means that because of this Pegasus placement right here in Cancer, you travel emotionally. So if you go to bed upset, if you go to bed mad, if you go to bed crying, if you go to bed super happy, if you go to bed with a strong emotion at all, guess what? You traveling. You going somewhere. That has its good and its bad, obviously, because if you're in a really good mood when you go to bed, you're going to go to, the lower areas of the higher realms. You're going to go to the middle realm, etc. If it's really bad, if you're angry or pissed or whatever, sad, you're going to go to the lower, like you're going to go where that emotion pulls you. The thing about the Pegasus placement for you, too, is that it's in the 4th house, and that's ancestral aspects, ancestral pathways. So having that sign in Cancer, you're super attuned to ancestral ties, information, etc. So my advice for you, if you're looking for a direction on which way to go to kind of amplify these skills, abilities, etc., my advice would be to start learning your own ancestors, start doing a tremendous amount of ancestor work, because all of that will help you. You're tuned into it already. And learn how to become someone who can help people connect with their ancestors. So whether you find a teacher to help you do that, whether you start practicing, whatever, I would try to find someone to help guide you through that, because that's a hard job. And talking to ancestors, especially ones that have had a traumatic passing, can be really, really hard emotionally on the person channeling. Just ask me how I know. So finding someone that can teach you would be the best thing, but I know that's not always possible. You are fantastically connected with ancestors. You are fantastically connected with the veil, with, lowering it, opening a door so people can speak to their ancestors, etc. Now, don't get ancestors confused with spirit guides. They're two separate things, okay? I see people get them confused. Ancestors are people you are physically DNA related to. Spirit guides are people that, there are several types of spirit guides. This is not a guardian angel. Guardian angel and spirit guides, two separate things. There are some spirit guides that have never ever been a person. They will never be a person. They've never been a human being, okay? There are some spirit guides that are your ancestors. They fill both roles. Those are very few, okay? You will have some, obviously, that walk with you. Then there are some spirit guides that you're assigned. So whenever this is a big cycle, okay? So when you're alive, you are around the people that you're around, and then when you learn all the things you're supposed to learn in this lifetime, when you pass away, you have to get debriefed. Did you check all the boxes? Did you learn all the things? And then when it's time for you to, get reborn, you get briefed on where you're going. So you may go and be a spirit guide for somebody that you've never met, never will meet, don't know their ancestors, etc. You get briefed on that. You're a spirit guide, and then you help them. And when they pass it, you see what I mean? It's a big cycle. It goes around. It's a big cycle. It's a fantastic cycle. But you have spirit guides that are assigned to you at birth, and then you will pick up some along the way. Okay? So spirit guides and ancestors are two completely separate things, and people get them confused. Ancestor work is super mega powerful, and people don't understand how powerful it is. And I'm going to say this again because I feel like lately I've been saying it till I'm blue in the face. And I had someone send me a video of a creator that put a video out that was asinine. I downloaded it before she deleted it because it was so asinine. Like, it was so asinine that I went, download, okay? But basically she's telling people that if you want to learn ancestor work, you have to learn hoodoo, and that is not the case at all. In fact, there was the whole video I have a problem with. I have a problem with the whole video. But everybody does ancestor work. Every single culture, every single practice does ancestor work. Learn what culture you come from. Learn how they did ancestor work, okay? If you're wanting to get into it deeper. But I guarantee you already do ancestor work. All of you. You already do it. If you have photos up of people in your home, whether it is somebody that's passed, somebody that's still here, that is ancestors. That's ancestor work. If on holidays you make grandma's famous chocolate mousse pie, that's ancestor veneration. Like things like that. Those are all ancestor work. Okay? But don't listen to people that say, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna get off that horse because yeah. I will probably make a video about it. She took the video down, but it was absolutely asinine. It was absolutely asinine. Absolutely. But just saying what I'm saying. Asinine. Right. hurt my brain. Hurt my brain. I watched it again today because I was looking for something else and came across that, and I was like, I usually don't get involved in that shit, but that right there is going to get people hurt, and I will get involved if it's going to get someone hurt. You know what I mean? Miss June is next. June, I don't think I pulled your birth chart for you. Let's find out. My review is required. All right, we'll do that later because I feel like that's going to take a long time. So while I'm doing this, I do want to say, I know that some of you guys are waiting for me to reschedule some stuff with you. I have a call with my rep tomorrow, and that way I'll get my schedule planned out. I don't have a schedule on my calendar, and it's hurting my feelings for some tour dates. So I will have some announcements for that on Monday, have those up on the website and everything. And then that way I can also get some of these scheduled, because there's a lot of these things that I would be happy to help you guys with, like in just a quick 45-minute appointment. And some things that I can help research and see if we can find somebody that can help you learn. I know my limits. You know what I mean? Like, I know my limits. But yeah. Yeah. All right. Miss June. A Cancer with a Leo rising. Tell me you're emotional without telling me you're emotional. And a Scorpio moon. Ma'am. Ma'am. You know what? I'm giggling at you and, you know, laughing about it and stuff like that. But June, that right there, a Cancer with a Leo rising, that is one of the most loyal people right there. That, y'all want to see what a loyal person looks like? Bam, right there. Right there. That right there. That is a loyal fucking person. A loyal fucking person. If you guys want to get on my next list, I haven't scheduled these readings again yet. I will. They will probably be the last week of February or possibly the second week of March. My travel schedule got changed dramatically the last few days, so I've had to move a couple of things. So let me make that announcement real quick while y'all stare at the June, the loyal person over here. I am moving the Reiki Symposium back a week. I now have to be in Pennsylvania the first weekend of March, and so I had to move up my trip to go see my granddaughter. I'm finally going to get to go see my granddaughter. I'm going to cry a little bit. I'm going to cry like a bitch when I get off the plane. But, so I'm moving the Reiki Symposium back. You guys should have gotten an email today. But it will be the 27th, 28th, and the 1st of March. If you haven't signed up for it yet, you still can. It's a RSVP. I will bill you via PayPal. It takes $77 to hold your spot. The rest of it you can pay out. But yeah. And I did have somebody ask, I'm not going to send the links out until the day before. So you will get the links the 26th of February for this. Because bitches be bitches. You know what I mean? And you will need to make sure you come into the Zoom meeting with the name you're registered on, or you will not be allowed in. We're finding people sharing class links again and stuff like that, and that's not cool. So just saying. But the Reiki Symposium has been moved back. So I will be doing these again because I was flabbergasted at how quick this list filled up. So I'll probably be doing these maybe like once a month or something like that. But yeah. Because I think they're really cool. When is the payment due? So since I'm going to see if I can go back and change the invoices that have already been sent out, because I had them due by like the 19th, which was, you know, the day before the symposium, and I'm gonna see if I can push that back. So that way, if I'm billing you now for invoicing you now. They'll be due the 26th. The $77 holds your spot. Like that, you do need to pay that to hold your spot. And then you can pay the rest of it out. Yeah. Yeah, these sold out really fast. Oh, I saw it, Treasure Rected, when Sass was like, get in the game and go get this right now. I was like, I love that all the February lovey love stuff in the World of Warcraft trading post is witch related. If you don't think I bought that hot pink or that pink witch hat, totally did. Totally did. I will be on playing tonight. I will be on playing tonight. I'm just letting you know. All right. All right. Ready? Ready. All right. Let me focus. My brain is on. My brain is on overflow. All right. June. Cancer, Leo rising, Scorpio moon. And this is, like I said, in there enough that unless you were born at like 1 a.m., this isn't, or noon, this isn't really going to change very much, okay? Pegasus in the 12th house. Hecate in the 1st house. Kali in the 1st house. Okay. And Hades in the 8th house. All right, so we're going to start here. And this is your Neptune. Let me go back up on my list. Oh, this is your Neptune. So we just talked. It's so funny that you also have your Neptune in Libra. Just like the one I did just before you. Hers was in Libra, also in retrograde, but in a different house. So I see y'all over there. Is it going to be Libra Neptune night? Because I find that interesting. So Libra, a Neptune in Libra, that is very balanced energy, very calm, very balanced energy. So I also am over here giggling that you have a Leo rising and a Scorpio moon being a Cancer, and then you have this, and it's in retrograde. So you and Tiffany ought to be friends. So that way, maybe when one of y'all's energy is up here and the other's is down here, you can balance each other out. But this is different. Whereas hers is in the 7th house, yours is in the 3rd house. And I find that very interesting because that's dream messages. That is the house of dream messages. We're going to go here next because this is tied into that. What this tells me is that you have a problem not only keeping your energy steady, but also tapping into gifts and abilities. I would bet you also have a problem trying to remember your dreams and things like that. Hecate in Leo is an intense presence, right? That is a very intense spiritual presence, especially with your gifts. When you're fully in the moment doing something, whether it be candle work, whether it be a jar, whether it be spitting in somebody's pop, I don't know. Whatever it is you're doing, like, please don't spit them. I mean, if they deserve it, though. Anyway, some people deserve it. You are full in the moment. If you are there, you are there. Like, your spiritual power all goes when you're focused on that. So that is a very intense, like, authoritative, magical presence, spiritual presence. And the 1st house is also the embodied, like the embodied gatekeeper, right? The person that really, you, whether you know it or not, right? You are that person that everybody asks for advice. I guarantee you, your entire life, everybody has always said, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I guarantee you that more than often than not, you've been like, dude, I don't know. Why are you asking me? I don't know. Because of this right here. You come off as a spiritual authority, as a spiritual safe place. And that is a very important role, especially for people that, no matter what it is, they feel like they can tell you anything. They feel like it's safe to tell you anything at all that they need to tell you. So I would also guarantee you that you've had so many people throughout your life come up to you and be like, man, this is so crazy, but I need to tell somebody and I feel like you're not going to judge me or whatever. A lot of my conversations start like that, but it's usually me saying I'm crazy. Hey, I'm crazy, but people feel safe telling you about spiritual shit. They feel safe telling you about deep inside feely feels and so on. There's good and bad with that. There's good with that in that being that very loyal person, the Cancer with, the Scorpio moon and the Leo rising, being that very intense, loyal person, all that fire and water, right? It's good in that it gives people a safe place to talk. It's bad in that you hear shit you don't need to hear. You don't want to hear. People spill all of this stuff to you and you're like, la, 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 la. Like, I don't want to hear it. But they continue. So I guarantee that in your life, people have overshared so much with you. They have overshared so much with you to the point that you know shit that you wish you didn't know. And I hate to say it, but that's only going to get worse. The older you get, only going to get worse. Only going to get worse. But it's a very good skill to have, especially in spirituality, especially if you are considering doing anything to help anybody else, whether it be, you light a candle for your kid or your best friend or, some jerk ass at work or whatever, or whether you decide that you're going to start guiding your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, nephews, other people, whatever, because that gives you a kind of, people will listen to you when you say, hey, maybe don't do that because that's dumb. And hey, maybe let's do this because this is, a safer way to do this. People are going to listen to you. And it's also good because people will naturally tell you shit that you can use against them later. Because being a Cancer, you get taken advantage of a lot. And having that Leo rising, you are super loyal and you will go out of your way because the Cancer Leo aspect right there, you go out of your way to make people happy. And people take advantage of it. So when they happily tell you shit, you can lock that away in your little baneful magic bank. I'm just saying. Where was your Hades? I think it was up here, wasn't it? Yep, there it is. I find it really interesting that your Hades is tied into this too, but it looks like it is... Oh, it's applying. Okay, it's not happy. It's not happy with that placement, but it's not moving away from it either. Okay. Hades in Pisces is... So the Hades placement is your shadow self, shadow work, etc. And this is you getting completely lost. Like, you have to be very, very careful with this placement. And the fact that you are a Cancer, the fact that this ties into your magical placement, you can get very lost in the shadow very, very quickly. That being in the 8th house, you already have access to the lower realms, the death realms, the underworlds, things like that. So you can deep dive down into that. The problem is, with that energy placement, your Libra being in retrograde, you can stay there. That can drag your entire energy down and then you're stuck there. Protections, 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 protections. I cannot spout enough protections that you really need to. Being a water sign and being that your Hades is in a water sign, a very, very emotional water sign, Earth is going to be a big thing for you. Whether it be, going outside and putting your feet in the dirt, or whether it be holding on to wood, whatever it is. There are a lot of different stones for grounding as well. I would make sure you have one all the time. Black tourmaline and smoky quartz are going to be your best friends. Okay? Because that will ensure that you can dissipate all that negative energy that you suck in, and that if you get pulled down into that energetic underworld, you can get back out of it. Cleansing work, grounding work need to be the base, the core of your practice. Okay? And now we're going to talk about this Pegasus. Oh, wait, oh, we're going to talk about the Kali. We're going to talk about the Kali. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Wait. We're going to talk about the Kali first. Then we're going to talk about the Pegasus. I got ahead of myself. Your Kali is just barely in Virgo. Just like this. Okay? So if you find your birth time and it's a little different, this could change. But right now it's in Virgo, which is a surgical use of energy, very precise use of your energy. So the fact that you have your Neptune, which is in retrograde, and it's got your energy all over the place, this is something that you really feel like you should have. You feel like you should strive to do this, and you should, because of this placement right here. Being in the first house, this is also a very strong astral form, astral presentation. The other thing about this is your Kali, this is your Kundalini force, your energy. So even though your Neptune is out of whack, this one right here probably helps you to get it back in quicker. Being able to clear your mind, focus your mind, and zoom back in on you is going to absolutely pull this back out. And having that in Virgo, which is an earth sign, like I said, earth will help you tremendously. When you feel like you need to clear, to cleanse or whatever, something to ground yourself, and then water. So the beach, lakes, oceans, like those things are going to be your best friends, right? Where you can put your feet in the dirt, on the sand, and walk out in the water a little bit. Perfect. Having beach type scenery or lake, whatever ocean type scenery with ground and with water on it around you is going to help you tremendously too. Just that. You know what I mean? Now we can look at the Pegasus. Let me not get ahead of myself. So you have Pegasus and Cancer, which is emotional travel, because of course it is. And a group grid walker. No, that's 11th house. My sorry. Unconscious mastery. I'm going to advise you to look into different ascended masters. An unconscious mastery placement, especially in an emotional travel sign like that, and that's tied in with your moon, which is your emotions, I would be willing to bet that you probably have an ascended master around you, either as a spirit guide or something. You have an ascended master around you. So I would look into ascended masters. I'm not super familiar with a lot of ascended masters. I'm familiar with a few, Buddha, Jesus, things like that. I'm familiar with a few of them. There are so many. I would recommend that you just fall down the rabbit hole. Go on Google and just Google a list of ascended masters. You're going to find a ton. I know there's some great websites. I can't remember the name of them, but there's a great website out there. Hold on, let me find it. I'm pretty sure this is it. Hold on just a minute. This is a good one. AscendedMasterResources.com. This one right here. This is a good one. This has a whole bunch of things about Ascended Masters. It has a list of them. But it has a list of them. This one is a really good website. There is another one, but I'll find it later. But start here. Because see, this has all these different ones. So okay, you can click on Archangel Michael, see all of these things and so on. That's what I would recommend. Okay? That's what I would recommend. Because you are, I would be willing to bet that you have an ascended master around you. That is where this unconscious mastery of certain things come from. What that also tells me is that when you try to travel, when you try to do anything, when you try to go anywhere specific in the astral, that's exactly where you're going to land. You want to go to the, Akashic Records Hall, that's where you're going to land. You may not be let in, but that's where you're going to land. You want to go to the marketplace in the back in a stall, A57 or whatever, that's where you're going to land. Like, you have a very precise travel method with that. So I am willing to bet that you have an Ascended Master around you. The thing about Ascended Masters is they're kind of like a deity and a spirit guide mixed together. It's interesting. It's interesting. So that's what I would recommend, Miss June. I'm trying not to call you Junebug because I'm sure that everybody and their dog calls you Junebug. Junebug. I feel like you gotta say it like that. Bug. So I'm currently, for those of you guys just coming in, I'm currently finishing up my list from the 5th. And then I'm going to try to get through as many on the 6th as possible. So if you had one for the 6th, I'm going to try to get to you tonight. If you have one for the 7th, it will be tomorrow. And I do already have that live stream up, so you can register for it if you want to. Because I know that things don't always tell you when I'm live, because they're bullshit. I have got to get out of Oklahoma. It's making my Oklahoman come out. I just ain't going to want to do that no more. That's too easy. I can't do that. Unfortunately, I have heard people say ain't going to want to. I'm just saying. I've heard it. I've heard it come out of people's faces. It's a thing. They say it. Ain't not never. I've heard that one too. That one hurts my feelings and my head. Ain't not never. I ain't not never seen nothing like that. All right, Miss Amanda. Scorpio, Virgo rising, Leo moon. Okay. Capricorn, Neptune. So your Pegasus is in retrograde, meaning you have a problem traveling. Kali in Libra, not in retrograde. Great placement. Hecate in Libra. And Hades in Capricorn. All right. So this Neptunian placement right here, your Capricorn, your Capricorn, God damn. If I don't get out of here soon, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. All right. Oh, thanks, Sass. So, Neptune in Capricorn is structured mysticism. You are more into the scientific approach with your magic than anything. You are the one that you need a formula. If you're making a jar, you need a recipe. You need a formula. You need precise measurements. If you're doing a candle, you need to know exactly when, what time, how to do it. You need precise things, right? You are someone that you're automatically tuned into ritual magic. And that 4th house placement is ancestors, ancestral visions. You're automatically tuned into ritual magic. I would say also with that 4th house placement, that is a really intense aspect of ancestral rituals. And I know that everybody's like, well, I don't have those. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. When you were growing up, y'all, I guarantee, had something that was a tradition that you did the same way every time, whether it was at Christmas or Easter or 4th of July or just randomly. You had traditions. That's a family ritual. Tradition is a family ritual. If you do the same thing every year when you get the tree out, certain ornaments go on in a certain way, and then someone every year has to put the tree topper on in a different way or whatever, like, that's a ritual. That's a ritual. So you're already in tune with this, okay? The fact that it's tied into your moon is also really interesting to me because you put a lot of emotion into that ritualistic aspect, into that scientific aspect. I think that you would be fantastic learning Solomonic magic, learning ritual, like intense ritual magic. The book, the Lesser Keys of Solomon, well, the Art of Goetia, and really all the Keys of Solomon, and the Greater Key of Solomon would be good for you. The Book of the Golden Dawn would be good, like things like that that talk about ritual magic. Anything at all to do with Hermeticism is going to be great for you. You're going to like really jive with that really quickly. I know that normally we talk about Kali next, and you know what? Let's just do that. Let's talk about Kali. Let me not get off my shit. Let me not get off my shit. All right. So Kali is a Kali placement in Libra is very, very balanced energy. Very balanced energy. Meaning that when you're really in tune with it, and notice that it is square down here with your shadow. I love that, by the way. And not only that, but it's right next to your Hecate. So it's in conjunction and parallel. So it's happy and it's not. In other words, you have the ability to turn that on or cut it off. And we're going to look at your Hecate in just a minute. But this is a very, very amazingly balanced type of energy field that you carry. So people look at you as someone that can help ground them, as someone that you have energy to spare even when you don't. Or if you get upset, they take that as more than it normally is, right? Let's say that you don't feel good and you're kind of cranky, right? And somebody says something to you, and instead of being like saying no and then giving a long explanation, you're just like, no. They're going to take that personally because your energy, even though you just don't feel good and you don't feel like talking because your throat's on fire, they're going to be like, oh, are you mad at me? Bitch, no, my throat hurts. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to nobody. But they're going to take that personally because when your energy is off kilter, they don't understand because they're so used to your energetic field being balanced. The second house is also power tied to energetic boundaries. And being a Scorpio, that is your forte, is energetic boundaries. Scorpios are very, very big on boundaries and very big on telling people when they have fucked up and telling people when they like them. Like, you know where you stand with a Scorpio, right? So having that Libra Kali placement, you are absolutely one of those people that boundaries and energetic boundaries are a big thing. And if somebody crosses those, you're out. That is a skill that so many people wish they had, my friend. That is a skill that so many people need to learn. It can be learned, yes. But you also are a great person at giving advice, helping people with setting those energetic boundaries. Being that you're a Cancer, or Scorpio, excuse me, a water sign. Being that you're a water sign, you're already really in tune with the people you really care about and you really love. And being a Scorpio, if they ping your interest, right? Like somebody, say you have a friend of a friend of a friend who's going through a really nasty divorce and stalking and all this shit. That's going to ping your interest, right? Especially because you have that Virgo ascendant. So wrong is wrong to you. You're going to be more in tune doing a working for her, setting those energetic boundaries, than you're going to be just some random person. You really need to be invested in it. And having that Capricorn Neptune down here, you must be invested in it or you don't give a shit. You can't put energy in because you don't give a shit. Do you see what I'm saying? And now we're going to talk about this Hades placement because it's in Capricorn. This is a dangerous one to have. I'm just saying, this is a dangerous placement to have. Not for you. Okay. Hades in Capricorn. This is a very structured, very hierarchical aspect of your shadow and of your shadow work. So in other words, you are that person that you analyze everything and you put it in little files or little boxes or whatever. So you're like, oh, they were mean to me that day. We're going to put it in there. Oh, this person is a fantastic but they leave their door unlocked all the time. Like you separate everything out and you put it in these little boxes. So you remember everything about everyone's bad shit. Because the shadow is going to be in tune with other shadows. And this being in the 5th house, this is creative shadow and this is dangerous play. So you, my friend, 100% are something I would personally call a shadow walker. You are a dark empath and you are a shadow walker. And you're able to, I guarantee you, instantly piss someone off just by shifting your body language. To instantly ping someone's shadow by a look or saying 1 or 2 words to them because of that placement right there. You are instantly able to make someone go from 1 to 1,000 instantly. And sometimes you don't even know why. You don't even know what happened. They just instantly blow up and you're like, what just happened? I don't know what just happened. That's why. You're naturally in tune with your shadow and with the hierarchy of shadows everywhere. You're naturally in tune with it. So you can pick up on it like this. Okay? Now let's talk about this. Now let's talk about this Pegasus placement. Your Pegasus placement is tied in. This is your Hecate? Yes. It's tied in with your Hecate. Having a placement in Gemini with Pegasus, which is your astral travel, is like instant travel, teleportation travel, flicker travel, but it's in retrograde. It's also in your 10th house, which is a recognized role in the astral. This is something you're going to have to overcome because that placement is in retrograde. Since you have those really intense Capricorn placements down there, ta-da, those right there, something has been keeping you from your role over there. Having a very structured hierarchical role in the shadow is intense. But the fact that you just barely happen to be born under a retrograde, so you can't get over there to it, you are being kept out of your astral house. You are being kept out of, like, your soul's house, basically. You're being kept out of your own, I don't know, kept out is the right word, of your Akashic records. But you sure as shit can't view them all. You can't get in to view them all. You might get in and be able to view 1 or 2 and then right the hell back out. But this is something you can absolutely overcome. You just need to learn what back door you need to go in. What back gate you need to go in. You can absolutely overcome that. Absolutely. Super fucking easy. Alrighty then. Let me go to the next. Got real quiet here. Got really still. I found the cover for my aquarium so it's not as loud. At least I hope it's not as loud. Hope it's not as loud. All right. Miss Lisa Garcia is next. I know I did a chart feed the other day, but in my other program. So I don't know if I got you in here or not. Nope. I like the sound of my aquarium too. But it was a little loud. Sass was like, it was a little loud. And with the cover off, it's, you know, evaporating really, really quickly. Let me make sure I didn't fuck that up. Look at that. Look at that fucking arrow. Look at the fucking arrow with the Sagittarius Archer arrow. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Sagittarius, Virgo rising, Scorpio moon. What house is that in? I think it's just barely. Oh, it's in the 3rd house. I thought, like, seeing that little line right there, I thought it was just, it is just barely in the 3rd house. Like, just barely in the 3rd house. 3 degrees. Okay. All right. That is just so pretty. I cannot stop looking at it. Like, it's just pointing straight down. What is this placement right here? What is this? Of course it's your shadow. Of course it's your Hades. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? All right, so let's start here with your Neptune. All right. I find it really interesting that it's tied into your other three placements, because if your Hades is down there, that means that is your Pegasus, your Hecate, and your Kali, the other ones we're going to look at. Sagittarius is very like prophetic vision. That third house is dreams. So, my dear, you are an amazingly powerful clairvoyant. I also would be willing to bet that you turned it off as a kid. Yep. Yep. I bet you used to have very, very intense dreams as a kid, and I bet that you turned them off because of that placement right there. Because that is power through frequency and words, and so if you can't talk about those things, then they stop. And in the 9th house, power grows through exploration. So if you can't explore it, you turn it off. Oh, honey. Okay. 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 Yes, some scary stuff as a kid. And I would be willing to bet that you turned it off because you had people telling you, you know, that's an overactive imagination, or don't say those things, or whatever. If you want to reopen that, you can. It is going to take you some practice, okay? Because Rome wasn't built in a day. You didn't shut that door in a day, you know? I would say you need to start doing a lot of work with frequencies and with guided meditations. Because, like I said, this placement right here is all about words. Words, symbols, and frequencies. So frequencies, guided meditations, and using the proper like symbols, rune work, whatever you're tied to, those will help you exponentially. That will help you reopen that door. You were raised in a strict Catholic family and told it was not okay to talk about. Yeah. So did your jaw hit the floor when I said that? That I bet you had shut it off. You'd been told not to talk about it. You're a very powerful one. You're a very powerful one. I would also be willing to bet that most of the women in your family have this too. Okay. I want to talk about this next. Normally I go to, well, no, we did the Kali. My brain just went sideways for a minute. Because I was my brain went all the way over to like, what else can you do? I would start there. If you want to reopen that door, I would recommend so. That's an intense gift. That's an amazing gift. I would recommend opening it back up. I would recommend opening it back up. If you want to open it back up, frequency, words, etc., I would highly advise looking or listening to some of the guided meditations that are going to walk you through being able to travel and walk you through with a frequency behind it. If you can't find one you like with a frequency behind it, you can layer them. The thing I love about YouTube, especially on a phone or a computer, is that opening 2 tabs, you can always open one with a frequency you like and just play it really low where the other one kind of drowns it out, where you're not hearing the frequency music play. It's still coming through. You're still getting the frequency. Do you see what I mean? I personally would recommend layering them unless you can just find one that you like the guided meditation and you also like the frequency with it. But you're going to need to go through different frequencies. Probably, I would start with the solfeggios, maybe letting them play behind a guided meditation, and then sticking with just one. Maybe if you notice that one helps more than another, or so on. I'm just saying. It's going to take you a little bit of work. It's going to feel very daunting at first, but I think that when this door opens, it's going to do this really slowly, and then bam. Does that make sense? Susie. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't take good compliments. Thank you. Your Hades sign is in Sagittarius, which is a very archetypal descent as far as shadow work goes. So you are that person that you need steps, right? You need steps to go down the shadow aspect. So you need to know, I start here, and then I go here, and then I go here, and then I go here. Not quite as structured as like a Capricorn placement, but super fucking structured. And because this is in the 3rd house, this is like whispered knowledge. It's shadow communication. This is another reason why I said, and why my brain went down the rabbit hole when I was talking. You need to really open this door back up, because you being able to tap into that clairvoyant aspect, you being able to tap into those dreams and so on, will help you tap back into ancestors that had this gift and ability and honed this gift and ability. And I want you to notice that arrow points straight from your Kali straight down to the Hades placement. I would also say that you are fantastic at opening that ancestor bridge up. Opening that up. So times when the veil is already thin, or like Day of the Dead, like things like that, those are going to be your powerhouse days, because you're already in tune with the shadow. You have a kind of a dual role with that, and I would be willing to bet that this is why you had a lot of crazy dreams and a lot of things that scared the shit out of you. Being in tune with that, not only can you let the good things through, but you are kind of a gatekeeper for seeing the bad shit. You might open the bridge, you might stand on the bridge, you might be letting people across, but the minute something comes at you that isn't what it appears to be, the minute something comes at you that has really nasty negative tint in mind, this is why you had I guarantee you had a lot of nightmares as a kid. A lot of nightmares as a kid. I would also bet you had a reoccurring nightmare of one of the same things. Like this, tell me if I'm wrong, big smoke-filled thing, but it looked kind of like Jabba the Hutt, but was smoky and grayish black with red eyes. Am I wrong? You could see through this thing every time and no one else could see through it. It was angry, wanted to know why you could see it. Alright, Hecate is, of course, it's tied in with you. Had one dream every night for over 6 months. Yeah, I figured. Because when you make an enemy of something like that, it wants to know, hey, how can you see me? How are you seeing me? I look like a sweet little old grandma. I look like a cute little kid. I look like whatever. How are you seeing me? And then after it gets over that curiosity of how can you see me, then it gets mad. Why aren't you letting me through? Everybody else lets me through. Why aren't you letting me through? Because you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Hecate in Virgo. That is ritual, precision, and controlled access. Didn't I just say that you had the ability to let things through and not let things through? Just saying. Just saying. And this is in your 12th house, which is interesting because that is thinning the veil. You are 100%. You are 100% one of those people that can let the door, open the door. And you are definitely a guardian of that. You are very talented at threshold work as well. I would bet that you love windows. I would bet that you love mirrors. I would bet that you love things like that. And you have a lot of them around, your house. I'd bet that you don't like being in a room without windows. You don't like being in a room without a way to escape, if that makes sense. You need a way to escape. Windows or doors are your preferred ones, but a mirror is decent-ish. Pegasus in Virgo. Precise navigation. The 12th house is unconscious mastery. My girl, you have a natural ability for scrying. You have a natural ability for scrying. Um, I would get you either a scrying mirror, a piece of mirrored obsidian, or make you a scrying mirror. Y'all can see the one behind me up there. I painted that. Like, it's got some damage and I've got to repaint her and I've got ideas. But I found that mirror. I loved that mirror. And I was like, it's my mirror. So that's my girl. That's my girl back there. Make your own. My advice, if you guys want to do scrying, if you want to try scrying, can you go buy a mirror? Yes. Can you go buy a scrying mirror? Yes. It's more powerful if you make it. It's so much more powerful if you make it. And all you really need is a picture frame with a piece of glass in it and black paint. That's all you really need. Open the picture frame up. Doesn't have to be fancy. It can be a Dollar Tree. It can be a Dollar Tree mirror. Open the frame up, paint one side of the glass, let it dry, put it in there with the paint inside so it can't chip. The marbly paints are phenomenal. I think that the black pearl color paints, the black marbly colored paints at Walmart are what, like $3? Hobby Lobby, they're like $3 and $1 frame. So there you go. You have a really cool personalized scrying mirror for $5. That's what I would recommend. That's what I would recommend. It is always going to be more powerful if you make it. Okay? Can you go buy a fancy one? Absolutely. I used to love making those for people. But I don't have time anymore. Makes me sad. Yeah. That's what I recommend. You're phenomenal at scrying. You have a natural ability to scry. You could do water scrying, any of those things. Any of those things. But make yourself a scrying mirror. Make yourself a scrying mirror. And if you want to make like a really bougie, ornate scrying mirror, take your time and find the right mirror. A lot of times at like Ross, TJ Maxx, things like that, you can find some of the makeup mirrors that are on a stand that are like golden on the outside. Just saying. You'll know the right one when you find it. You'll know the right one when you find it. But yeah, amazingly clairvoyant, super clairvoyance. Able to open the gate, the thresholds, all of those things. And then, yeah, you're phenomenal at scrying, my friend. That was weird. I was scrolling down my list and all of a sudden it said the same name like 6 times and I was like, what the fuck? It didn't. It was just, it's glitching, but I was like, holy shit. All right. Austin is next. I am pretty sure I have never pulled a chart for you because you have a really wicked cool last name and I don't remember it. Watch me be wrong. Gotcha. Okay. Whose kid is this? Oh, there you are. Yeah. I saw the birthday and I was like, all right. A Cancer with a Cancer rising. Oh, man. And an Aries moon. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. You are in for it. You are in for it. Oh, what a sweet kid, though. Oh, my God, what a sweet kid. Is this the baby of the family? Just out of curiosity. I hope so. I hope so. Probably the baby of the family no matter what. Oh my gosh. That is so funny. A Cancer with a Cancer rising. Oh, and it's in the 12th house. Oh my God. This is your little spiritual child, isn't it? This is the kid that's so in tune with everything. Um, Let me say this, because that Neptune placement in Pisces is total veil immersion. Was there an issue with this kiddo when they were born, or with your pregnancy? Um, because this is also that cosmic mystic, but it's in retrograde, which means this kid should have 100% remembered their life before this, and probably did for a little tiny bit, and then it's faded, it's gone. He was right on time. Queen Cancer is protective, guardian instincts, and shielded power, and then that 12th house is massive power, requires strict containment. This kid is really serious, isn't it? This is not your normal Cancer. Miss Ma'am, you gave birth to somebody that has an ascended master with them at all times. Virgo is ritual, precision, controlled access, and spoken or written portals. Like, my hair is standing up. Hades, their Hades placement, his Hades placement is in Libra, which is being able to balance the light and the dark. It's also shadow family lines. Pisces is being able to dissolve into movement and interdimensional travel. My friend, that's a powerhouse kid right there. That is a powerhouse kid right there. I was laughing about the Cancer with Cancer rising, and yes, this kid is going to be 100% the epitome of a Cancer. But I'm going to go ahead and wager this kid has a very interesting predetermined destiny. A very interesting, very intense predetermined destiny. I would encourage this kiddo to do anything and everything in life. Because of these certain placements, the ritual precision, that Gemini placement there, this one right here, this kid is going to be super, super tied into anything at all that boosts their energy. The fact that this is in the 12th house, this is a massive amount of power and is going to require very strict training, I guess, for lack of a better word. I wouldn't try to contain this kid's energy. I would teach them how to utilize it. Teach them how to channel it, how to move it where it needs to go. But this kid right here, 100% is a spiritual powerhouse. 100%. This kid is going to be a target for every single fucking narcissist out there, every single person that is an energy vampire out there. And I do love that this is down here being able to balance light and dark. Trust them. When this kid says, I don't like that person, trust that kid. Trust Austin. Because instantly, this kid is going to know if someone is a good person or a bad person. Hone that in them. Okay? Hone that in them. Because the more that he's comfortable using that gift, the more he's comfortable saying, Mom, I don't like that person. Even if you love that person, right? Even if you think that is the best person ever. If this kid is like, I don't like that person, I don't know why. Trust that kid. It's so funny, like even looking at the chart and everything, I feel like everything just got really serious. I would be curious to know about dreams that Austin has. Is there a reoccurring theme in them? Are there reoccurring people? Is there reoccurring colors? Are there reoccurring animals? He's nonverbal. Okay. That tells me all I need to know. Okay. Out of curiosity, have you ever played hymns for him? Old school gospel hymns. Not the brimstone and fire, but like the acoustic ones, or have you ever played those? I would be curious, because every time I tune into this chart, this kid's energy, etc., a lot of biblical things pop up, a lot of like Bible imagery and things like that. So if it's not Jesus is an ascended master, it's definitely an archangel. This kid's a powerhouse. This kid's a powerhouse. Whatever you can encourage Austin to do, whatever he wants to do, whether it's artwork, whether it's math, whether it's whatever, this kid is put here for a reason. I mean, notice that square in the middle, notice the X in the middle. Like, I'm looking at all of these things. Like, yeah, you gave birth to a powerhouse right there. So let's see, 2019, so he's going to be 7 this year, yeah? Is it math? Is it math? Because it's so funny. When I'm doing this, I'm seeing all of these images of like biblical items, biblical things, and then also geometry, like layers and layers and layers of geometry. That's an interesting kid right there, dude. That is an interesting kid. That's a little old man in a kid's body. That's a little old man brain in a kid's body. That's a little old man in a kid's body. Dude, that's a powerhouse right there. I don't know if you saw the website that I put up. I would look at, since he's nonverbal, I would look at favorite colors. I would look at things that he's drawn to. I would look at things like that. That will help you figure out who this is. It will help you. And I don't know if he would be willing to like look at some pictures of some of them and see, you know. Literally, I would start with Jesus. I truly would. I would start with Jesus, and then I would go through the archangels and just ask. Chickens and horses. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Dude, this kid's always going to be intense. Always. This kid's brain never shuts up. Never shuts up. I bet he probably doesn't sleep very well, does he? It's something about the feathers, yeah? No, he doesn't sleep much. It's something about the feathers on the chickens, yeah? You're up most of the night. Will he paint?
You had chickens when he was 2. Okay.
I'd be curious to see what he paints with a feather. Like using a feather as a paintbrush. I'd be curious. You either have a genius mathematician or a genius artist, or maybe both. Like, this is such a structured, intense kid, dude. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I have always, maybe because, I don't know, here's my crazy flag. Maybe because I could see, I have always had a soft spot for people that are on the spectrum. And I wasn't raised with anybody. Nobody in my family is. But I could see the difference. Does that make sense? And so when I got older, I really started falling down the rabbit hole of how other cultures and stuff like that see that. And the ones that caught it early enough, they would usually train that person, right? That kid. And I have found that almost every single kiddo that I've come across that's nonverbal is a genius in some aspect. And the vast majority of them are a powerhouse when it comes to spirituality. It's literally like, it's like a cruel fucking joke, right? They're a genius at math. They're a genius at art. They're a genius at spirituality. They're a spiritual powerhouse, but they can't tell you about it. Like, it's a cruel joke, right? It's like the universe is fucking cruel. I would be, you know, I bet like a spirograph or something would also be something that he would sit and play with for hours. All the geometric, the even aspect of all of that, I'm sure they still make those. I would bet giving him something that allows him to do art and math at the same time. Man. Yeah. That's an intense kid. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I just want to go paint. I just want to come to your house and paint with him. I just want to come to your house and play geometry. I just want to come to your house and do that. I just want to do that. So when he's rich and famous and has all these amazing art pieces, I would like to buy one. Just saying, I would like to buy one. Yeah, I would like to buy one. You know, I'd also show him, here, hang on. I would also show him these and see what he says. See what he does. Well, not see what he says, but see what he does. Bubble particles. I would show bubble particles. Because that is almost what I see when I focus on his chart and his energy. Bubble particles. I would do this. Just, hey, you want to sit down and look at some of these cool pictures with me? You know? Because I'm willing to bet that these strike an interesting nerve. And I said nerve for a reason. Just saying. Just saying what I'm saying. Yeah, you got a kid with an ascended master that sits right by him all the time. All the time. So let's see. What's your other kid's first name? What the? Oh, he's your only kid. Okay. I thought you said you got him for your kids too, but I guess it's just the one. Yeah, dude, that is a powerhouse kid right there. Oh yeah, Charlie, I got goosebumps just pulling that chart up. Thank you for letting me read his chart. Thank you for letting me read that chart. Out of curiosity, hold please. Hold please, out of curiosity. There's some in my eyeball. Oh, look at my eye twitch. Bastard. So many retrogrades. What the hell? Just for shits and giggles. Dude, that's a genius kid right there. I don't know what deal this kid made when he came here in this life. Like, I don't think that, I don't think he's supposed to be here. I think he made a deal to come here and knock some, and help something. He's here for an intense purpose. Let me say that. Because look at this. This is his Jupiter, his personal power taken away. If you can't speak. And your main attunement to the spiritual world is words. That's bullshit. His Saturn is in retrograde in Capricorn. So the planet that governs Capricorn, the house that governs work ethic and health, you see what I mean? And then Pluto, the way that other people perceive you, retrograde. I would be willing to bet that mathematically this kid's a genius. I would. Because of this placement right here. And that is intense. That is crazy right there. That middle. That's crazy right there. I feel like I could just sit and stare at this chart the rest of the day. I feel like I could just sit and stare at this chart the rest of the day. Just saying. Make sure I don't take off the ones that I need. Because I'll be messing shit up. Dude, same, Charlie. Same. I want to fast forward or get like I just want to open like a little window and peek in to what he's doing when he's like 16, 15, 16. The stuff that he's creating. I'm just saying. Get him going with it now, because I really, really would bet you that between the intense tie with the geometry and the math and the fractals and art, I would bet this kid creates some mind-blowing things. Mind-blowing things. All right, let me check my sugar before I start with Miss Jill, and then I'll probably take a quick break and run to the potty and get some sugar. Maybe. Why are you being the way you're being? There we go. Yep, I knew it. I knowed it. It's going down. All right, so you have like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I'm going to go pee real quick, and I'm going to grab some sugar-coated sugar, and then I'll be right back. And we're going to start with Jill whenever I come back, just so you guys know. But I'm going to leave Austin's chart up if you want to nerd through it. Just saying. Just saying. snacky snack. You had to go get a snacky snack. Oh no, I gotta eat a brownie. Oh no, damn it. I finally got good brownies. Finally. You know, 4 weeks after my birthday. 4 weeks later. Alright. Because you know it's a crapshoot when you get them from somewhere. I ordered McAllister's for dinner. Well, for lunch and dinner yesterday because I needed soup. And I got a cup of like their brownie and brookie bites. And sometimes it's a crapshoot. Because sometimes they're like pieces of chunk. But this time they were not. It's fantastic. It's good. It's fantastic. My life is great. Sorry. It's fantastic. Any of y'all know what that's from? We're friends. I haven't watched that movie in so long. What's up, homie? I love you. Hi. Hi. I love you. I love you so much. Yeah. He was arguing with me earlier because I was getting something out of the pantry and he thought that meant it was food time again. What? He thought that meant it was food time again. I was like, no, you had breakfast and you have food over there. Well, Mom, I need second breakfast. I need third breakfast. I need fifth lunch. Like, come on. He came and got me earlier and I knew that I had fed him because they get breakfast. When I get up, doggies get breakfast. He gets breakfast, right? So I know you've eaten today, right? He comes and gets me and I'm like, did you knock your food bowl off? Like, what the hell is going on? And then, he came and got me because he didn't have the appropriate level of dry food in his bowl to where he could lay in his bowl and put his face in it. I can't. True Pisces right there. It was hilarious. Oh. And then I have French doors in my office. Hang on, Mike and all. Well, yes. Are there Solomonic symbols that represent the zodiacs? Yes. Yes. In fact, most of the ones that we use for the zodiac signs are, yeah. So I have French doors right there with like the glass panels. And earlier he was scratching at my front door. And I was on the phone with Sass. And I was like, look, if you keep doing that, like, I'm going to move and leave you here. Like, I was getting so mad. This fucker comes and sits in the door, in the window, and I've been unpacking boxes, so I've got, like, some things right there. Peeking at me over the window and just sits there and stares at me like the poor little lonesome. I don't know. It cracked me up. I was like, you are ridiculous, and I can't with you. Ooh! Somebody's talking about me. My nose is itching. But, yeah. But I love you, Vlad. Vladdy Patty. He's mad because I told him. Alright. Whoever's talking about me, stop it. Stop it. Alright. Jill Barron is next. I am now brownie fueled. You've been warned. If you guys did not make this list, I will be doing these again, probably the beginning of March. Just keep an eye on my website so that way you can grab one of these, because I didn't realize that these were going to sell out so fast. All right, Miss Jill. Now I'm all cocky and happy because I have brownie. Nom, 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 nom. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, I meant to get a drinky drink too. That's all right. I can drink my water like a good girl, and then I'll go get something else. Okay. There's 2 interesting Leo placements there. Gemini, Sagittarius rising, and Libra moon. That's an interesting mix. That's an interesting mix. Okay. Neptune and Sagittarius in retrograde. All by its lonesome. So Neptune in Sagittarius is prophetic vision. The first house is a living veil walker. The fact that it's in retrograde, you're being kept away from that gift. I gotta remember not to do this too much, like concentrate too much. So Cancer, your Kali is in Cancer, so that's your energy, your Kundalini. So that is a very protective aura. That's a very guardian-like energy, guardian instincts, very shielded type of power. And in the 8th house, that is extreme astral resilience, surviving collapse. So then why are you being kept away from that? Where's your Hades? There it is. Second house. Okay. Hades and Aquarius. Collective shadow, future collapse timeline. It's also in the 2nd house, which is tied to self-worth. Survival tied to self-worth. And it's tied into your sun sign, which is in the 6th house. Deeper down the rabbit hole. Okay. So your Hecate is in Leo, which is gatekeeping through authority, through your presence, how you come across spiritually. It's in the 9th house, which is spiritual initiations. Pegasus in Leo is very radiant, very visible light, and interdimensional travel. So that Neptune placement, this one right here, being in Sagittarius, is really throwing me off. I'm going to tell you why. Because everything else is you being a very intensive veil walker. Shadow, not quite shadow walker, but veil walker. Like, you are kind of here and kind of there. Like, you are constantly in and out of your spiritual self. I think that if you had been born with that Neptune placement not in retrograde, I think that your life would be 9 million shades of different. Because that acts as a cloaking device. I know that, like, it doesn't sound like a good thing that, okay, you don't have those abilities, they're turned off, etc. That acts as a cloaking device for you. Because your Hades is all about a collective shadow aspect. your Hades is all a collective shadow aspect. You have a really intense presence. Like these two placements in the 9th house right here, that is a super intense, just spiritual presence. And being a Gemini, you're very polarizing already. Geminis, or every Gemini I've ever met is like this. You are very, very polarizing. Like people either absolutely adore you or absolutely hate you. And there's no in between. And sometimes they go from hating you to adoring you and from adoring you to hating you. Like there's no in between. There's no in between. But you have this intense spiritual and energetic presence. So people feel you walk in the room before you ever get there. Like you are super cloaked. My opinion is that your gifts and abilities lie in being the ferryman, taking people back and forth. Being able to be here and be there. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if you are extremely neurospicy. I would not be surprised if you travel in your sleep more often than you dream. I would not be surprised to know that you've had intense bouts with sleep paralysis, and I would not be surprised to know that you go through bouts of insomnia and also go through bouts of constant nightmares. And when you don't have nightmares, you don't remember your dreams. A lot of that is because of these gifts. You have a very intense ability to travel. Like a very intense ability to travel. As in, you do it without even knowing that you're doing it. You're one of those people that you can consciously sit and travel. You don't have to have, any devil's lettuce. You don't have to have any lotus. You don't have to have any of that stuff. You can just do a couple of breaths and then bam, that's where you are. So when you're really, really exhausted at the end of the day and you go to lay down, you're automatically going to travel. I'm just letting you know. You're automatically going to travel. You're already attuned to it. You also have just an intense cloaking device. So I find that interesting. I think that you just don't know how to turn it on. You were up last night till 4 a.m. for no reason. I think you just don't know how to turn it on. To be honest, I think for you, you easily can turn it on and off by envisioning a big switch that you go in and push it up to turn it on and pull it down to turn it off. I would not advise leaving it on all the time. I would advise turning it on before you go to bed. And I would play with it. I would play with that gift. I would envision that. I would envision that switch. Big, huge switch. Make it have a color, like a toggle switch. How they sometimes have like a rubber tip on the end that's a bright red or something like that. That's exactly what I would do. I would envision a toggle switch that you can turn on, you can turn off, and start with just turning it on and off, and then work on just turning it a little bit on, a little bit off, because a toggle switch usually you can kind of turn, in the middle or whatever. That's exactly what I would recommend. I don't think that there's a way to utilize this to help you with the bouts of insomnia. I think that the times you go through when you're, say, extremely exhausted and you can't get enough sleep, it's because your brain goes through cycles spiritually of always being in the astral and then always being here, and then always being in the astral and then always being here, and there's no in between. There's no in between for you. I think not only that, but On top of this being something very, very intense, and on top of this being on top of you being a natural veil walker, this is such a unique gift and ability that I think if you were to play with this gift of turning that cloaking device on and off, you would be able to go almost anywhere in the astral. You would be able to go almost anywhere. There's places that none of us can get to because we still have meat sacks. And then there are places that, you know, if you're out, you're out. But I would be willing to bet that you can go into almost any place in the astral. I'm trying to think of the best way to point you. I mean, really, it's just going to be your own self-discipline in practicing this and visualizing this. To be honest, what I would personally do would be to go to like Ace Hardware or Lowe's or somewhere and find a fucking switch. Find a physical switch. Put it beside your bed. You're going to feel weird, you know, or I don't know. I would get overly bougie with it, and I would end up having it on a, you know, crazy design plate or some shit. But I would literally get a physical switch. I would get a physical switch. Because I think that for you, especially being a Gemini, you need to see it. Where's your Mars? I need to see where your Mars is. Aries, you need to see it. Mars is your house of action. And so that being an Aries right there, you need to see it. You need to physically see. You have a hard time visualizing. Yeah, you need to see it. You need to do it. You need to have something symbolic that you're flipping that switch. That's what I'd recommend. Go pick you out a switch. Go switch shopping. You being able to have something that you can do. And know that just because you flip that switch, it's not going to instantly turn on. Like, you're going to have to make that happen. But I don't think it's going to take you very long and you're going to master it because you already have that ability. You already have that cloaking ability. And here's the fun thing. Here's the fun thing. Oh my gosh. Hang on just a minute, Natalia. I love that. I love that. Here's the thing. Once you master this ability, this cloaking ability with this switch, just switching it on or off, you can do that to protect other people. Because this placement right here, this Cancer placement, that is your personal energy. You are naturally inclined to protect other people. You are naturally inclined to protect the people you love. And the fact that it's square with your moon up there, which is in Libra, you also feel the need to put everything in balance. So if you see injustice being done, it's hard for you to sit back because that moon's in the 11th house. It's hard for you to sit back and just let it happen. So you want to do things, you want to fight, you want to help, but at the same time, you being a Gemini, fight with yourself about that. This is how you can help. So when it comes to you honing this skill of turning that cloaking on and off, that will allow you to absolutely utilize that Cancer Kali placement right here, and protect other people with it. Protect them. You are and will be an amazing astral tether. Like, for somebody that travels without realizing they travel, you will be an amazing astral tether. I would bet you've already been pretty much everywhere in the astral and just don't know it. The reason that I said I'm pretty sure that you don't sleep a lot, I felt like I needed to mention that. A lot of times people that have some really intense astral form, a really intense energy, they have a protector energy, or you have like that natural veil, veil walker aspect. Your brain goes through phases where you travel constantly. And when you do, at first it's great, right? Like you're doing stuff, you're getting stuff done, you're doing whatever it is you need to do. And then you just get burnt out. So you can't do it a little bit. You just go all in or nothing. All in or nothing. You also, if you haven't ever thought about taking classes to walk down a more shamanic path, I absolutely would. I absolutely would. You're naturally attuned to it. And if you have this cloaking ability and you start mastering this cloaking ability, you will be a powerhouse in an astral. An absolute fucking powerhouse in an astral. And that is glorious. You want to protect everyone that can't protect themselves. Yeah. Yeah. If you have not looked into shamanic classes, you absolutely should. You absolutely should, because I think that it would behoove you. I think you'd be a very powerful one. The dreams you remember are very, very, yeah. Oh yeah. So those probably aren't dreams. If they're very vivid, yeah, they're probably not. Yeah. So I love that. I took your advice, and the little has a dino teddy to sleep with now. So far, no waking up. No waking up upset. Good. Good. That makes me so happy. Is that what they picked out? Was the dino teddy? I love that choice, by the way. Dinosaur teddy. I love it, man. I mean, great choice. Totally approved. Totally Bodhi approved choice. Dino teddy. I love it. Did that make sense, Jill? Because that's a really intense gift. Like, it's a really, really strong, really, really intense gift. Okay. Okay. That's on my agenda to get it fixed this week. Like, it's pissing me off at this point. I think that YouTube went through an update or something, and, like, people can't get into certain areas, and I may just need to go in and adjust yours. Will you send a message to the website so that way I can go in and adjust yours, like me or Christine can go in and adjust yours personally? It may be that we just need to add that on. I don't know. Fucking technology be technology. But yeah, I got you. I think that would behoove you. Behoove you. Yeah. Be good for you. Oh! Make my nose itch. Oh, I'm sorry that you weren't on when I did yours, Firefly. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can tonight. I'm waiting for... It's just about time for me to take some more medicine, so... Because my whole energy just did a nosedive with the headache. I don't know if it's just the new medications I'm on or whatever, but it's about to kill me, man. This headache is about to kill me. It's making me miserable. You are welcome. Yeah, send a message so we can get that fixed for you, because I definitely think that a lot of this will help you tremendously. A lot of the folk shamanism class. You know, before I attempt that. All right, another break. I know. I gotta grab some more something to drink, and then I gotta take this gross shit, so I don't get the rebound headache, because that's what's about to happen. I can feel it. right, we are up to three drinks. Because of course we are. Because of course we are. All right. It's not really a good night if you don't have like 5 drinks, right? I mean, technically, yeah, that's 3. That's still a drink, right? All right. Still a drink. I mean, I've snacked today, but I haven't really eaten today. No. I love peanut butter sandwiches. Dude, that one I haven't heard in a long time. That's my new vocal stem. That's my new vocal stem. Ugh. Mm-mm. Those things are just gross. Absolutely and utterly gross. But that's keeping the headache at bay. So it is. Now we eat a couple little tiny crackers. Because they're better than the big ones. I don't know why. Explain to me why these are better than the big ones. They're so much better. So good. I'm so glad y'all agree that they're better. It's just like they make the mini Funyuns. They're so much better. Why are they better? Mini Doritos. So much better. Why are they better? Oh, stop it. Stop it. I'm all about fresh bacon, man. Yeah. Yeah, just barely. You're a cusp. I had to go look at your birthday. Oh, maybe that's it. It does have more crispy corners. I don't know. I could eat the whole box. Yeah, you're a cusp. So you have a lot of Taurus traits. Like, I would bet that you absolutely love food. And comfy shit. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but they're better. They're so much better. Yeah, so much better. What are you over there saying, Reese? Stop it. Stop it. All right, Miss Kelly B is next. Let's see. Do I have your chart? Surprised you guys can't hear him. So snoring over there. He's a loud little snoring dog. I think if he were laying closer, you'd hear him. Oop. I'm going to say it's that one because you put it twice, so I'm going to say it's that one. Ooh, look at you. Look at you over there. So, like, Kelly is just barely an Aquarius. She's going to have a lot of Capricorn traits. Now, I got crackers stuck everywhere in my mouth, though. Y'all all, that's like You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I always find this really interesting when someone's chart is super big in two little areas and then super tiny in the other ones. Because that's not really something you see a crazy amount. At least I don't see it a crazy amount. So an Aquarius with an Aquarius rising and a Capricorn moon, you are the most serious of all serious people. You are like, don't mess around. Don't mess around. That is funny. That's funny, dude. Super serial. Super serious. Dude, that's hilarious. Okay. I'm not going to pick on you. I mean, I might. But, but I might. All right. So a Neptune in... Why was I saying Sagittarius? A Neptune. And what did I just close out? That's fun. What happened? Okay. No, wrong one. What? Computer, come on, man. I love you. I love you. See, Seth says with love, and I say I love you. I love you. I love you. Neptune and Capricorn. That is very, very structured mysticism. And the fact that this is in your 12th house, that's a very permanent liminal state. So you have a constant access to the astral. You have constant access to your spiritual self. You have constant access to liminal spaces, which also means that you are naturally drawn to crossroads, to doorways, to gates. I would bet that you love ornate gates. You are constantly drawn to unique windows and anything that has a really cool architectural structure. You're constantly drawn to them. I would also bet you're drawn to boats. I don't know why, but I would bet you're drawn to boats. Of course, it's going to be the last one I click on. I hate that they're all the same symbol. You know what I mean? So I find it interesting that your Kali is tied into everything but your Pegasus. Kali and Aries, that's an explosive astral force and like a first responder. And the second house is a power tied to energetic boundaries. So you already spend a lot of time in liminal spaces. This is why you're so serious. This is partially why you have the placements you have. You have such a strong energetic body and energetic boundaries. I would bet people accuse you all the time. You grew up on boats. Stop it. Did you really? That's funny. How often do people tell you that you're emotionally closed off and that you're emotionally cold? Even though you're not. If you don't like somebody every time, yeah. I mean, some of that is an Aquarius with an Aquarius rising and a Capricorn moon. That's super serious right there, right? But that, dude, you have such an intense, strong, energetic body. Like, you are the backbone for everybody. You are the strong person in the room. I would be willing to bet that you could withstand anything. Not that I would wish that on you, but I would bet that you can. I would bet you are always the voice of reason. Spiritually, emotionally, you are always the voice of reason. You are always the one that calms the situation. Hades and Aquarius in the first house. Shadow visible in the astral form. Oh, you see shit. Okay. You see shit. That is like collective shadow. I would bet you, heck yeah, I would bet you that you feel crazy a lot. I would bet that you, I'm going to say feel like, but we both know, you feel like you can see other timelines as they're happening. You feel like you come to an intersection and you can see, you know, what would in one timeline that car just went and got in a wreck, or that one just went. Like, you see these things. And then you also see the shadows. And I think that yours isn't just like out of the corner of your eye. I think you full on see them. I think you full on see them. Because that, I mean, and look, that's like straight in the middle of your first house. It's almost in Pisces, but it's just enough over the line for it to still be in Aquarius. So that is super in tune. Like, you're so in tune with your shadow. Like, you're comfortable with it. And when people insult you, you're like, okay. Insults like roll off of you. I know that they don't. I know that they, because having a Capricorn moon, you're going to overthink every bad thing everybody ever says to you, and hold yourself accountable, even if it's one of their own shortcomings. But you see all the shadows, and you are so in tune with it that you feel crazy the majority of the time. But you have such an intense, energetic body that insults usually just roll right off of you. Like, you're just like, okay, whatever. Say what you need to say, and then go away. Cosmic mythic gateways and a public gatekeeping role. I find that interesting, especially because you have an automatic attunement to liminal spaces and then being able to control those. I see now why I said I bet you're drawn to boats. Because that's a place where you feel fluid. And it's not just the water, it's not just the waves. You feel fluid. Like a boat, water is, when you're on a boat in the water, all of that is liminal space, because you can't technically belong in that particular part of the water, because the boat is going to continue to move and the water is always moving. So there is no way to ever have something in the water, like floating on the water, that is ever going to be able to be in the same place twice. You're never going to be able to be on the same exact drops of water twice. Whereas I can go outside in my yard right now, and then I can go outside in my yard tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And for the most part, 99% of that dirt is going to be the same as it was the day before. Water will never be the same. So you feel safer on the water than you do here. Feels like home. Because here on land, there's constant control of liminal spaces. You feel like you have to be in constant control. I would bet you like all the doors shut in your house. You don't like having a door open. I'd bet you sleep with your closet door shut. Like, you don't like having an open doorway at all. I would bet that mirrors make you uncomfortable. TVs make you uncomfortable when they're off. Anything with a reflective surface makes you uncomfortable. That's why the water is so comfortable to you, because it is a constant moving liminal space, and you know that if something comes through, it can't get back through, or if it, tries to go through, it can't get out. Like, that's why you feel so comfortable on the water. Uh-oh, is it a good cry? Don't tell me you're crying, Kelly, and then am I right with all of that? Sagittarius and Jenna and Pegasus and words. Pegasus and Sagittarius is not only long distance travel, but interdimensional travel. Spot on. Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad it's a good cry. Let me just say this. I'm willing to bet that you have a problem. You have a hard time in relationships, whether it's friendship, whether it's romantic, anything like that. You're drawn to being alone. You like your alone time, and for any type of relationship to work, you have to be able to disappear, basically, for a week at a time or more. And a lot of people don't like that. Yes, yeah. I think that you probably have a very, very intense role in the astral, and I think it weighs on you really heavily. Well, no, I know it does. I can tell by looking at your chart. It weighs on you really, really heavily. I would be willing to bet that you're on some type of council over there. I really and truly would. I really and truly would. I think that you're on some type of council over there. You're a first responder, like your astral body is a first responder archetype, and it's very intense and it's very strong. And I would be willing to bet that you are somebody that has a very intense role in the astral. I wouldn't be surprised to know that you have dreams about, like, when you see in Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, or if y'all watch The Sandman on Netflix or whatever, the throne rooms, how they're unrealistically tall and, just crazy, they're fake, like those kind of things. I would bet that those make you feel comfortable. I would bet that spaces like that, when you see those in movies and AI and stuff like that, that makes you feel comfortable. Because that's a lot of what you do when you're over there. I would also bet that you like battle movies, especially movies that have to do with, old school types of battles, swords and shields and pikes and things like that. I would bet you also like those because, yeah. The other thing I'm going to say, because I started to go down that rabbit hole and then I switched gears to another rabbit hole. The reason I said something about you liking your alone time and being alone, not just the Aquarius placements, well, not just the Aquarius and Capricorn placements, but because of that really strong, intense astral body, you probably will be that person that either never gets married or none of them work out. Because you see through everybody's shadow. You see through everybody's shadow. You're a natural lie detector. You don't take any bullshit. You don't have time for shit. I would also be willing to bet that you feel like you're running out of time over here. You don't know what it is you're supposed to be doing, but you're running out of time. Yeah. I'd be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet. So, my advice is going to be this. When you can't clear your head, when you can't calm down, when you can't wrap your head around a problem, or you feel super anxious, stressed out, if you can't go get on a boat, spot on again. If you can't go get on a boat, find a movie or a video or something that allows you to see that on the TV. You know what I mean? Put yourself back in that mindset of that constant liminal space. That will help you. The other thing is, I would be willing to bet that you aren't sure how you travel. Probably as I've been talking, you've been like, well, I wonder how it is that I travel. You can set your own way of travel. Your astral body is so strong, you can set your own way of travel. Set it and forget it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you feel drawn to. In fact, a boat would probably be a great one. I would visualize you an amazing, big, huge, antique wooden boat made out of one big piece of wood. Like out of some massive tree that doesn't exist, That's what I would do. I would make you a boat that doesn't exist, and that's how you get to the astral. Because of that first responder aspect, you are going to have times when you're just yanked over there to help. So yeah. You can go whenever you want. You can go whenever you want. Dude, that's a very, very powerful gift. And by paying attention of when you go, how you go, that's also going to help you determine what you're doing over there. Because when you can determine where you go and how you're going, you'll remember it better. In fact, make you a boat, put you a logbook on that boat. Like, put you a logbook on that boat. You often meditate that you're on a boat. So you've already started programming yourself to being on this boat. You like dark waters too, don't you? Not saying that everybody doesn't like the nice warm waters, but you like those darker waters, like the ones that look like blue, black, green, right? Yeah. Yeah. The ones that scare other people, like I'm scared of that shit. But I'm drawn to it too. So I get it. You know, you could also create you a back doorway into the astral if you needed it to jump off that boat and dive straight down and go in a back door. Just saying. Just an idea. You know, just in case you ever needed it. You know. I mean, I felt the need to mention it, so I was like, just in case you ever need it. Just saying. Just saying. Autumn is next. Fran, this one is your kiddo. Which means I haven't pulled her chart, so let me fix this. I don't know why I'm hitting search. You are so welcome, Kelly, honey. You're so welcome. I hope that helped. I hope that's what you needed to know. So, Fran, was she born in May or June? Oh, damn it. June, okay. The hell? I just told you that you're not crazy. Yay! Is this it right here, Fran? Why can't I find it? That's so weird. Damn it. I don't think that's it. Hang on. It's Philippines. Why the fuck? I did. That's what's killing me. It won't let me find St. Albert. Like, the only one it'll find is in the Philippines. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I was even looking to see if I could just find Alberta, Canada. And I can't find that either. Like, what the fuck? Okay, that really fucked me up. I just looked up Canada, and there's Canada and Albania. There's Canada. Stop. I can't. Like, stop it. Canada exists everywhere. I love it. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can figure it out. We're going to figure it out. Because now I've never had this happen. Yes. I want to see that. Yes. So the first thing Google pulled up was the gallery there. That's gorgeous. I'm like, let me see if I can find something else like super close right there. So stupid. So stupid. Let me try Edmonton, because that's not going to change it too much. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There are ways around this. I've never had that happen. Like, I don't understand. I can see it on Google Maps. It's obviously a town. It's obviously a city. So what the fuck? I've never had that happen. There's also a Canada and India. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that's cool. It might not be super cool to other people, but I think that's kind of cool. It does hurt my brain sometimes, though. All right. There we go. Look at that little Gemini. Look at all that Gemini stuff. A Gemini with a Gemini moon and a Cancer rising. Okay. We're going to have to put the glasses back on. I was trying to make it without the glasses, but I feel like my eyeballs are being pushed out of my head. Which, I'm sure it's eye strain. Even with a migraine, I've been on the computer too much. It's been fucking stupid. But I like it, because here I am. All right. Okay. So a Neptune in Pisces. Total veil immersion and a cosmic mystic placement in that 9th house right there. Tied in with the sun and Pegasus. Oh, Kali and Leo. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy. And having 2 big 3 placements in Gemini. That's a lot. That's a lot of energy. Okay, so that is a very commanding presence. It's very radiant dominance. And that 2nd house is power tied to energetic boundaries. So this is a kid that 100% will cut off anybody at a moment's notice. Even with that Cancer rising, they come across as this really, like, caring, amazing person. And they're very dualistic. Like, they're very dualistic. They come across as this bubbly, you know, out and out Cancer person. And then on the back end, man, you piss them off, and wow, there's no coming back from that. Okay. I won't look at that one yet. I want to look at this one. Totally. So Hades and Taurus. Slow descent, grounded underworld work. The 10th house is authority and shadow realms. Oh, this kid sees straight through to your shadow too. Oh, you have a dark empath. You have a dark empath, girl. Dark empaths are really in tune with shadow. Like, before I even look at the rest of this, dark empaths are really, really in tune with shadow, but they see the shadow of other people. She 100% counseling, therapy, anything like that, she's going to be phenomenal at. She's going to be phenomenal at addiction counseling, people that have a lot of like bipolar disease, schizophrenia. She is going to be able to get through to them where other people can't. She's going to be able to get through to them where other people can't. Because she sees that shadow, she walks that line. Like, Hecate and Taurus is locking wards and gates, and that 10th house is a public gatekeeping role. Yes. And then a Pegasus placement in Gemini is instant travel, and the 11th house and a group grid walker. So she is super, super in tune with, grids. She's super talented with grids. Amazingly talented. I would be willing to bet that she's always putting, like, if she dumps out Skittles or something on the table, they've got to be in order, right? Like, they have to be color or a shape or something. She's always organizing stuff into shapes, into a grid. Everything has to be a shape. She is naturally tuned to doing grids. So I would absolutely get her stuff to do grids. Even, like, I don't know if you guys have a Hobby Lobby up there, or a Hobby Lobby close to you, or, I guess you could have it shipped. But they have containers about this big of stones, and every other week they're on sale. They usually have, like, obsidian, amethyst, rose quartz. Dude, go spend like $20 or something and let her pick out a few, like, because when they're on sale, they're like 40% off or whatever. Let her pick out a few of them and let her make a grid with them. Flowers, dried flowers, anything like that. Yeah, let her make a grid with them. But she's naturally going to do that always. Anytime she does something, it's always going to be in a shape. It's going to be in a perfect square. I would bet she could almost draw a perfect circle. I bet she's that person. She can almost draw a perfect circle. She's always going to be in tune with making things into shape, organizing them, etc. But she is going to be one of those people. She's going to be able to get through to people that normally no one can get through to them. So she's going to be one of those people that's just very endearing to everybody that knows her. They're going to feel this need to protect her. They're going to feel this need to watch over her. They're going to be just overly protective over her. Even though this is a strong kid. Like, those Gemini placements, she's not going to take any shit. But everybody's going to be overly protective of her, mainly because of that Neptune Pisces placement right there. It's like they can kind of feel what she is and what she needs to do in the world. I would also be willing to bet that when she gets older, whatever she gets into as far as her career goes and her life goes, she's going to make major, major changes and major differences in the world. And that also is going to cause people to want to protect her as well. So I would hone that in her. I would hone that gift and ability. Not only the grids, because that is her way of connecting to spirit, her way of calming things down, calming her brain down. So the times when she's super stressed out or got a test coming up or something like that, just letting her organize shit is going to help her woo-saw a little bit. So watching things that have the frequencies in them, Look for the ones that have like fractals. Look for the ones that have designs like the sacred geometry. She's going to naturally be attuned to those. But hone that skill, that gift and ability in her as far as really building this right there. Her being able to be completely immersed in the veil and be very cosmic with it and be very in tune with everybody else's shadow, it is a lot and it's heavy. So she's definitely going to need ways to let that go. Whether it is, I mean, I personally would throw out all the stops, like teach her how to throw out all the stops at it. Smoky quartz is going to be one of the best stones for her because it will help her to take all that negative shit and transform it into something better. Black tourmaline is going to be another one because that will soak up all that negativity. So either way, that's something that she needs to have, even if it's just a little tiny tumble for her to hold on to and just keep beside her bed. Before she goes to bed, just hold on to it. Let all of the whatever, let the black tourmaline soak up the negativity, or let the smoky quartz, you know, change it into something else. But she's going to need ways to get rid of that. She's going to soak it in. Like, she's going to soak it in. Being a shadow walker and having these intense shadow placements right there, she's going to soak it in. She sees everybody's shadow. She's going to have times where she's super uber serious about everything, and that's going to start getting more and more and more and more and more. If you can, try to kind of monitor and make sure she doesn't go overboard with watching like current events and news. Not that you don't need to be informed, but immersing herself too much in that is going to cause that, I don't want to say anger, but frustration. There we go. A frustration to come out that she can't get rid of. So she's going to help a lot of people, Fran. She's going to help a lot of people in her lifetime. A lot. I think that's fantastic. But it is a heavy weight. It's going to be a heavy weight on her. Yeah. Does that make sense? Especially the other thing too, she's kind of predestined to help a lot of people. Being that her sun and her moon are up there in that 11th house, that's the social house. So she's going to struggle between being very social, being like the social butterfly, and being quiet. So good. I'm glad that makes sense. I'm glad that makes sense. I'm glad that makes sense. All right, let me see who else is on here. Trying to get as far as I can. I'm like wearing into the dirt right now. So what I might do is just type these out for you guys, because my whole brain is just like this right now. I know y'all can feel it. I know y'all can feel it. I know you can feel it. So yeah, that might be what we do. I've got some more to do tomorrow, and I've got a live stream planned, I think, for 6 tomorrow? I think it's 6. But, yeah. I think that I'm going to get off here for the evening and go lay down. Like, my whole brain just did that. Yeah. This headache is kicking my ass. I don't like it. It's fucking stupid. I'm so tired of it. So, alright. I'm going to get off here. I will probably go sit for a little bit, and then I'll probably think I'm going to go to bed and then be wide awake at midnight and up doing these reports. So, just saying. So, anyway. Alright, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. And chances are a lot of you guys that still are on my list are going to get a report tonight. Which, if that's the case, then that's a lot more. See? Alright.